Hey, what's up, man? Episode 6 with the Cre8tive Athlete. And I have a special guest on today, man. My guy, Illuminati Congo. What's good, my brother?
Love King, I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you for making space for myself and for all the other people you feature on your show.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Well, shout out to my guy Steph. Y'all have heard me shout out Steph a couple episodes, man. Steph brought me to Avalanche. Steph also, highlighted Illuminati Congo to me in some of his recent posts on Twitter and some of the things that Steph was sharing on IG. But nonetheless, um, my guy Illuminati Congo, just jumping right into it, man. Getting into I'm gonna share his this is his handle on IG and Twitter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Illuminati Congo. So just jumping right into it, man. You are out of Chicago.
That's right.
Um, Looking at your page, if a lot of you guys aren't familiar with it, you're into health and wellness and mindfulness. Um, what led you to crypto, and how did you kind of end up, gearing into, following Avalanche?
Well, I mean, the crypto was probably just a good suggestion from a friend in 2017. Was like, yo, Ethereum seemed like it's gonna be some to look into, so I did that. But as I looked into it and started understanding, I was already making coins and paper money, like printing my own money on paper
Mm,
and distributing this to and esteeming value on these notes of paper. Matter of fact, here go one. So I was printing my own paper money. This is Baba G money,
nice.
and I would distribute these, trade them for Federal Reserves, for hash, clothes, cannabis, and people would, they would exchange with me. And so
Uh,
I was already into an idea in my mind called complementary currency, or
uh,
being able to add new additional alternative currencies to the economic system
right,
that we sort of need that for a free market. Like no one needs to have a monopoly on the money system. That's not the way.
right,
And
right.
so as I was in Ethereum, I started realizing, oh, this is sort of like the same thing I was doing.
Mm,
But then I saw with Bitcoin, started like learning more about decentralization and uh, seeing these aspects, seeing how we can maintain privacy
right,
with the blockchain and also maintain transparency with the blockchain, how we can be trustless with the blockchain. Like, say I had a 2 pounds of gold right here and I wanted to get it to you over there. That's
right,
gonna take a lot to get it to you. And
right,
then how you know that it's all real gold? How you know it's not a big piece of zinc in the middle of it? You know what I'm
right, right,
saying?
right,
Like you don't. And then who we gotta trust to figure out if it's real.
right.
We both gotta trust somebody, and how we know they not playing us. It's like, so that whole system didn't work for me, just through thinking about it, and I started seeing the value in blockchain technology. And then
Right.
with Avalanche, one of my good brethren was working on it a lot. Gendrix, he produced a lot of these beats on some of this Web3 music I've been putting out, and
Right.
he he was working with it a lot, and I had been stacking it a little, but
Uh,
it was just still sitting in an exchange, and I was like, all right, let me get it into my wallet and figure out what to do with it. Got it over there, and started playing with Wonderland and some of that stuff. The time Wonderland stuff, it didn't work out that great, but uh I'm all about the DJ and DeFi
right.
experimentation. I'm not gonna throw in more than I could risk.
Right.
So I'm not mad. I wish I would have made some better moves
Uh,
with that change, but that was one of the things that brought me in. And
right.
then from there, it's like now the connection between the Phantom and AVAX community
Right.
that's seeming to be something that's transcending any type of thing I've seen on any other blockchains.
Right.
It's this is going to be the foundation that for like these cross-chain, omni-chain futures that people are alluding to. I think what we're doing here in this community.
Right. So you feel like that with Phantom, and you got to kind of put me up on game with Phantom. Phantom is obviously another token that I it looks like Campfire has been doing like dual sales with like Phantom and
Yeah.
Avalanche, or dual projects on that. So you feel like this is probably going to be the most stable connection that you've seen so far between tokens?
Yeah, the fact that there's a community of people that are in both communities and are supporting and edifying each other, and uh it's not really like they people are, if there is a competition, it's a healthy competition.
Right. Right.
It's it's not any hate. It's
Mhm.
both these blockchains and these communities looking to support and edify, uh and that's not really happening in many other places,
Right.
not to this extent. I
Right.
have NFTs on 29 chains,
Right.
29 different chains.
Okay.
So I've gone through some of these communities and I've been able to see like how they operate.
Mm.
And we're doing it right now. We're doing an interview right now.
Right.
Not, only on Phantom and AVAX has there been this type of connection where people are like care enough to reach out. And
Right.
this is gonna be what takes this connection
Uh,
and each of these blockchains higher and higher in my view.
that makes sense, and I think that's what's giving me the confidence and will to like just slide up in people's DMs and ask questions, because we're in a unique time now where some of these projects that are being created are going to be huge, and they are huge now. But I mean, like the scale of them and with what some of the things that they offer, it's going to be huge. And like people like yourself, Echelon. I've interviewed True Machine, spoke with vending machines. They're going to talk about getting on. And, right now everybody's still in that humble stage where we want to make it work, that we're willing to talk and, use this platform to help spread the word, just like the spaces. Because I love the spaces, but, for some of my people, they don't have Twitter. And in the athletic world, like they're more IG. Now, people do tap in with Twitter, but this can kind of, doing it this way, I want to be able to spread the knowledge. And while everybody's still in that humble state, just interview as many people as I can to try to spread the message about Avalanche, about these cool NFT projects. And,
Mm-hmm.
crypto is like we talked about with Echelon, the now and the future, so, getting people involved I think is critical. You
Definitely.
spoke on Web3. Does Web3 give musicians freedom?
It can. Yeah,
Uh,
it can. There now we got to be discerning in our approach, because there are a few little platforms that are trying to weave some of the old practices
mm,
back into the Web3 stuff, and if that works for you, if whatever works for you is what that's freedom
right,
in my mind, is whatever's working for you is freedom.
right,
But for me, I like having the most liberty, and I
right,
like my collectors to have the most liberty. So a Bandcamp, buying my music from Bandcamp is cool. There's a sense of ownership there,
right,
uh, but it's a little more disconnected from true ownership of being able to have that in your wallet, pass down that asset.
right,
It's not necessarily, it's like, this came directly from me. It's not just an MP3
right.
that has been copied over. And so there's something to be said about the freedom that does exist in Web3. And then also, like, I don't need Spotify to make my career pop or not pop. And they have a lot of algorithmic games that they play.
Right.
And so being able to connect with community and support them, be supported by them,
Right.
I think that's a major plus.
Right. Okay. So transitioning into Illuminati Congo, the artist. So I've been between Spotify and between SoundCloud. I've been kind of starting my day with your music. And it's a different vibe because of course I like hip hop. I'm from South Georgia. Went to Georgia Tech, so I've been in Atlanta. I was in college '05 through '09, and that was kind of when Atlanta was really kind of getting a real grasp on kind of having ownership of the I guess of the hip hop scene. But when for the most part, just keeping it real, and I'm able to discern it, and I'm conscious understanding that it's just entertainment. But the music is
Hmm.
low vibration,
Hmm.
in some. So with your music, with a lot of the stuff that you're saying, um, it's reminding us about wellness. It's reminding us about tapping in with the plant, speaking a certain way. I get paid. I get paid to do what I love. What I love the most.
Hmm.
Quotes like that, reciting those things that can reset. Without even being all deep. You are a man is as he thinketh, and you are what you listen to. You are what you watch. So consuming, balancing it out. I think it's critical. And I think your type of music does that. But Illuminati Congo, the artist, what is your goal when you are making your music?
Well, first of all, thank you for taking time to listen, and also for those kind words as well. The goal is first and foremost is sort of there's no goal at the first thing. It's like I'm just doing it. I'm just expressing myself. Uh, I have lyrics like words, connections, word plays. They come through my head, and I have to let them express somehow. So
Right.
that's just the first thing. It's just like from the days of old school times of freestyling. It's just there's a flow that has to happen. Uh, but then I've when I like you were saying, when I look at music around, when I listen to music, I really desire for there to be some substance. Really, if you look around my crib, it's like scriptures all around.
Right.
My everywhere is scriptures, and the wisdom and the value that I've gotten from these, I've wanted to embed it into my music so that I could hear it and have music that supports the things that have been most valuable for me.
Right.
So that's been like the if I have a goal for my music, it's to create a value in the mind, heart, and body, so that we can accomplish what we like to accomplish, have uh, be empowered uh, as a infinite potential being, and it could be corny to talk about that in a lot of ways. Like you got to find new and different ways to bring this awareness, and it's not even like uh we need to bring the awareness to people, because people have the awareness in them.
Mm.
It's more so of how can we facilitate a vibe that helps that awareness that's in us feel encouraged and joyful to blossom,
Right.
and that's the goal.
So, in reflection of what you're saying, um, hearing you say that it could sound corny talking about that. It's almost scary to even think, especially with you living in a place like Chicago, right? Like it's scary to think that, man, to some people it may sound corny with me being tapped into fully believing in myself, to fully, speaking to myself and talking that money draws me. I don't have to work hard for money. I don't believe, I don't have to work the 9 to 5. Like speaking like that, like you said, can sound corny, but
Hmm.
to most of us that's what we want. But it's like we have to put on this tough, this toughness, or especially in the community, in our, in the black community, we have to
Mhm.
carry this certain persona of being tough or hard, and you're really out of alignment with your dreams. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think that, like you said, through this music, because you are the way you're spitting and you're dropping it over dope beats. This is a great angle because we tend to like hip hop in our community. So it's like, but how do we overcome that though? What is it that can make it okay with understanding? Like, man, sit down and let's sit down and meditate. Let's talk about breathing, which we'll get to here in a second. But what can we do? And I don't want to make it a black white thing, just as a, because with fitting in general, you want to, we tend to want to be like like the masses. So if the masses don't see this type of awareness as cool, then we tend to shy away from it. What do we do as a human race to overcome that?
Well, I think taking our time to honor it all,
Right,
to honor the ignorant stuff for real.
right,
Like, yeah, there's a overabundance of the ignorance right now on the radios, but there wouldn't be, no one would even want that if there wasn't some value in just music about nothing,
right,
music about tricking off, music about whatever, music about killing,
right,
music about murder. Uh, the same way we watch movies about that. We watch movies about all of these things. We watch reality TV shows and we watch ratchet stuff. We watch all types of things.
right,
It's okay for that to be in all of the music and for it to be honored and to see the creative standpoint that people are coming from with that. But when that's the only thing that's pushed,
right,
or when there's only a certain style of it that's pushed, that's when it becomes an issue. And
right,
so I say, yeah, take time to honor the ignorant and ratchet stuff, but also make sure we're honoring uh, our mind. Make sure we honor what our goals are in life, and our goals isn't to that ratchivity. Our goals is to be on, uh, whatever we wrote in our heart before we even got here. And some of that music don't support those goals,
right,
but it can support just relaxation or support going into a different state of mind that
right,
allows you to get a different perspective that helps. I don't know how people take value from the different things, but everyone has their own way to extract value, and I think it's just about honoring it all. And with that being said, you know, people gotta watch a documentary sometimes.
right.
People gotta read a good book sometimes. In the same way, the music gotta as well be able to hit like that too.
For sure. So we talked about it a little bit off air. How did you find creativity, or how did creativity find you?
Yo, it's just, as a shorty, sounds, everyone did it. We
Right.
all did the sounds.
Mm.
Goo gaga gaga ah ba ba da da. We all doing the sounds and then playing drums. Like I got my kid, my latest child.
Mm.
I was able to watch him play on drums, do music, since he was tiny. And it helped me know that I've been doing the same thing since I was
Mm.
tiny.
Right.
And then, I wrote songs in grammar school and that I still remember to this day. Martin Luther King stood for rights. Malcolm X put up a fight. They both left for black. So pick up a book and read the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
go through the whole joint. That's from like fifth or sixth grade.
Uh,
And I got a chance to perform that in front of the whole school, I believe. So it's been ever since I was a shorty. I have to say though, encouragement from my parents,
mm.
encouragement from even my school.
Right.
Like public schools are effed up.
Mm.
There's hella trauma that is involved in the school system, and the like it's a hot issue to this day because there's kids returning to these schools very aggravated or with all types of violent tendencies, or
Right.
these things happening in the schools. And but I have to say that each teacher, you know what I'm saying, is their own divine being.
Right. For sure.
And each person in there can choose to, encourage a child and help edify them. And there were a few great ones at
Mm.
each school I went to that were committed to that first, before they were committed to the the agenda of the school. And those types of teachers are the ones that really help us go forward.
Right. And make an impact for sure. I'm a player development. That's one of my businesses. I train and teach youth basketball, but train NBA players, college players, and overseas players. But the youth are the clients that I'm around the most, right? So it's like you see the difference. So once you learn kids, or they have like another person that they don't want to let down, So even if they do have a good parent household, um, you know, now they have another person kind of on there because obviously we're talking about sports, but academics got to be in line, your performance in the house, like I cover a lot of ground on and off the court, kind of how to conduct yourself as an athlete.
Mhm.
So definitely, as any teacher or coach, we play a major role in because we spend time, sometimes just as much time with them as their parents during the week. Between the parents working and then time away from home. So we definitely make an impact on the youth for sure.
For sure.
Um, Transitioning into NFTs. Now I know we spoke off the air about you having NFTs on 29 different chains, I believe.
Yeah, I've collected
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
NFTs on 29 chains. I haven't released them on that many though. No,
Right.
that
Okay. So, talking about this collection, the Shamanic tribe. What was your role with it? How are you involved? And I actually bought one myself. Um, but how are you? How did you get involved with Shamanic tribe?
I seen the PFP. It was looking dope.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Uh,
I love it. I love it.
yeah, that's a dope one. So Shamanic Tribe, I'm building with Potluck Protocol, who
Right.
works a lot with Campfire. They have a partnership with them, and that's one of the people who's doing the AVAX and Phantom, helping that link be so strong. So one day, we were in a space on Twitter with Tunch, who's a one of one artist who did all of these pieces here that you see. We were in a
Shout,
space with
shout out to
him.
Tunch, man. It's great artwork, Tunch.
Yeah, yeah, he's huge, blue chip artist. And as True Voodoo, one of the masterminds in the space on Potluck Protocol, he was like, "Yo, I think we need to do something together where Congo does the shaman song,
Mm,
and you do the PFP, and we figure out some type of way to make it work." And
right.
so from there we just got in the Discord and started building. And the reason why it resonated with me is just because, first of all, what Tunch is doing is bringing something different than what you see in a lot of these projects.
That's
It's
what's up.
really playful.
Right.
It has connections to ancient
Right.
cultures, but there's nothing too, it's nothing too stuck. It's like you can it's just so playful and fun and childlike. And that was one of the things I really appreciate about his art. And so it was easy for me to write a song. Like, I've lived on this shamanic lifestyle since I was a shorty. Like, for
Mm,
real.
right.
This
Right.
You ask my people, they'd be like, "Yeah, that's John the Baptist." He's been on that ever since he was little.
Right.
And this is just sort of, it's natural. Like one of the easiest things for me to do is write a song about shamanism. I could write about 25 more songs about it. Uh,
Right.
so we made a dope song, and the project is like there's 7 versions of the shaman tribe song. And if you
7 versions of it.
yeah, so
Right.
if you own 3 uh during the mint, you got airdropped one of the songs. And if you collected all 7 of the songs, then you got the royalty pass. And the royalty pass allows you to earn streaming income from the Web3 royalties. So the song was just set up for distribution today, and it'll be live not too long from now, so that people can already start earning the account has already been set up with Potluck Protocol, and we're in new territory. It's nothing I've ever done before, but we're being as transparent and as swift about it as we can, just so we could start providing value back to those people who believed in us. And then also everyone who collected that royalty pass, they got airdropped the Beans on Acid song today. And
That came out
tomorrow,
like today?
huh?
Like today, like July 12th?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they got, yeah,
Okay. I
they
got one of
got,
those too. Yeah.
yeah, the Beans on Acid song. And so the song uh will be available tomorrow for public mint uh after, like, I don't know, around 7 p.m. UTC or something like that. I'm not even sure.
So explain like, let's say if this is we newcomers watching, which I'm sure we will. When you say, okay, you guys you have made a song that has 7 versions, that's tied in with the NFTs, and when you do the public mint, people who own three of the NFTs have a chance at getting royalties on the song, on one of the 7 songs, or just the whole collection.
You have, so the people have to, there, since there's 7 versions of the song, the people would have to collect all the 7 versions,
right,
and then burn those 7 versions.
Gotcha.
And then they get the gold royalty pass, and that one is the one that allows them the royalties. Gotcha. And there'll also be a bunch of little airdrops coming. It's like a ultimate pass for my collectors. So
that's dope, man. That's really dope. So it's like you make these purchases, you get an NFT, and then you're still kind of staying in tune with different airdrops even after the mint goes on.
For sure.
That's very dope, man. That's very dope. I think that's projects like this, projects, like the Ego Verse or what they're doing. You guys are really adding value to the NFT space in general, because sometimes I've seen projects that are just great pictures, but they don't really have any, you don't get anything out, which I like art anyway. So it's like you do get a dope picture, but with something like this, it's almost like, yeah, I get a dope picture and dope artwork, but I also have a chance to get value, which leads to me as a consumer now I'm marketing the song too, because I have some type of return instead of me just being a fan, which is very unique. And I think, kind of going back to what we said, Web3 is, so it seems like it could be a unique space.
Yeah, we wanna honor our collectors. It's like, you think about all the things people could put attention on or money on, spend time with today. And if they're spending time listening, if they're spending time collecting, you want to provide value. Right. So I attempt to provide value for free every day on social media through my posts and different wisdom that's really priceless. Right. And those are things that I share for free. And then I have things that I package as well, and I market as products.
Right.
And those are exchanged for currency. And That's one of the best ways to work in the space, in any space in business, is because we want to show and affirm for ourselves that our motivation
Mm,
isn't money.
right,
Our motivation is doing what we love.
right,
And if that's your motivation, then of course you can give it for free. Of
right.
course, because
You
you're
do,
doing what you love.
right. You do it without effort. Like you said, I can write 25 songs on the, you know what I'm saying, on this topic because it's I love it, I live it, you know, I breathe it. So that's facts. Yeah.
Right. But if when and so when we're doing what we love, it's it's not even a question. But we also got to take care of ourselves. We also got to make sure that there's a couple things I like to think about: unconditional love and
Right,
reciprocal love, and
right,
they both work well together. And so you can give without expectation, but
right,
you can also give in a giving and receiving type of way, and they're both love. And so putting our business towards that, learning how to package things that provide value to others, so that
right,
when they give you crypto or fiat or whatever they exchange for it, that we're providing an equal value, or that the person who's getting it is feeling what I'm getting is a steal.
right,
That I want everyone who gets something from me to feel that way, and not just not be bamboozled into, I want them to, if they didn't know, I want them to later on know that what they got from me was a steal, because they see the value increase over time.
right. Absolutely. So from tell me a little bit about your now on IG and Twitter. We know that you are Illuminati Congo, but on your page, I just got hip to your other page that you where you get into speaking about breathing and things like that. So transitioning into this question, breathing, weed, and shrooms. Let's talk about these topics a little bit and how important they are for us, and then what they mean to you.
So breath is the best thing
Mm,
of all things. Breath is spirit itself. Even you look at the word respiration, it has the word spirit in it.
mm,
Uh,
mm,
Inspiration means to breathe in, and the expiration means to breathe out, and they all have the spirit in it. And spiritus means breath, and spirit in Latin. The breath is the spirit in its most tangible form,
mm.
where we don't need any beliefs
Right,
to do it together.
right,
It's the prayer that we all share. Even if you don't believe in anything, you're gonna want to breathe.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So we could do it together and have an experience, a shared experience with spirit. So for me, it's the ultimate truth. It's truer than any word I've said during this post, during this podcast. It's truer than anything I've ever written. Breath is the most real thing that we can tap into.
right.
Weed is one of the things I love because I have an endocannabinoid system.
Uh,
And this system of my body that is able to receive the cannabinoids
uh,
from cannabis and benefit in my joints, in my cells, in my nerves,
mm,
in all the systems of my body,
right.
are able to take these CBDs and these this plant information
Mm,
from cannabis to bring about uh, a decrease in inflammation.
mm,
They're able to bring about a sensitivity in my melanin,
right.
to be able to almost see like a bunch of eyes or hear like a bunch of ears. That's what cannabis does for me, and I could go into the ancient connections related to the dogon and cannabis, and to the Egypt and cannabis. There's in our ancient cultures,
Mm,
cannabis was definitely a medicine used with great triumph and in victory in health.
right.
Uh, and it helps me breathe. It helps me breathe bigger and better.
Mm,
And the same with shrooms, mushrooms and peyote or psychedelics. When I
mm,
if I utilize them and don't breathe,
mm,
there's resistance happening, and there's gonna be some type of uh, issue that comes up. But if I just
right.
keep breathing,
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm not feeling good, like the
Right.
other day I wasn't feeling good. All that could get me through it great in a wonderful way was this breathing,
Right.
just connecting the breath in and out. Now there's many different breathing techniques. As a trainer for athletes, you probably have experienced that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you a book that that might become one of your uh, favorites.
Breathing the words. I've seen this. I haven't read it, but I've seen it. Like in store. Okay.
Yeah, and it's on Audible too. But you might want it on both. But for people who's doing personal training or things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
that book, it got some next level stuff to take people to the next level of their athleticism.
Right.
Uh, and so breath is that foundation, but these medicines, these herbs of the earth, in my life, in like the Rasta, the Tao, the Sufi type of way that I live, these are things that support my breath,
Right.
my breath to be more aligned.
Right.
And because the breath directs the mind, the mind can direct the breath. We can
Mm-hmm.
choose to direct how we're going to breathe, but if we relax and just follow and listen to our breath, then the mind can even begin to empty of the racing thoughts,
Right.
and the breath can begin to direct the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's often what would be best for us, because what is breath? Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
We want spirit to guide our thinking.
Right.
Christ mind. We see
Mm-hmm.
it.
Right. Right. So kind of, and I left this one off, but uh, meditation within what we just talked about, breathing, weed, and shrooms. Obviously, meditation is also tied into that. What how would a person interested in meditation get into meditation? What's the easiest way?
Is to listen to your breath coming in and to listen to it going out, and to slow it down. Don't make it heavy. Don't make any breaks in between the breath. Just breathe in. And when you filled up, just let it loose
Yeah, makes sense.
and keep listening to it. You see, the best meditation is uh, in certain traditions. It's said that the best meditation is the natural meditation, uh, where you don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just be and breathe and be with everything as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on how clear our mind and how luminous our mind is,
Mm-hmm.
will depend on how much we experience uh, to the core and to the heart the natural great perfection of that moment. But
Right.
that's what the meditation is for, is to breathe and to experience the natural great perfection of this moment right now,
Right.
beyond any, like there's no greater moment, there's more perfect moment than this right now, and there's nothing that needs to happen for that to be true. It's just is.
Fair enough. So, final question, Illuminati Congo. What's next for you, man? I know, and I know some of the next may be some of the now that you're living in. As far as with, you just dropped, the Bean song into people's files today. But so within what you have now and anything else that you're creating, whether it be music wise, NFT, any workshops that you're doing, what's coming up for you?
So it's a lot. It's always a lot.
Right.
So I was showing you this money stuff. I wrote a book. It's not finished. It's about maybe 65% finished about money. It's called Money Illumination. And I got these these notes, not these, but these other ones called Illuminotes. And so that I want to just bring a different idea about money to the blockchain, because I don't think we've spiritualized it enough. I don't think we've really analyzed how spiritual money is, because there's always this blockage, like it's evil, it's the root of this. And I think we need to get to the bottom of it, or at least have a perspective. I've wrote 6 books already. This is my 7th I'm working on. I'm writing another breath book right now. I'm writing a book on Chicago, esoteric Chicago, because there's so much history about Chicago that's just unknown. Pyramids and effigies and voodoo origins.
Pyramids.
Or obelisks that reach to the, super high. It's like, I gotta put that out just for the sake. And then I got a full length album for the blockchain coming, where I'm trying to work with these devs to do something special right now. I can't even tell nobody what it is, but the dev's gonna do something, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. And what blockchain will you drop that on?
That's gonna be on AVAX and Phantom probably. It's probably gonna be split between the two, but it might just be on AVAX. We gonna see what's up.
Okay.
Depending on how things are running with the dev. But and then on next Wednesday, it's a track. So tomorrow, my brethren Minister Pharaoh, he got his track on this From the Shadows album. And I don't know if you heard of Scepter and the Southern Empire, but they've been doing like huge things. Limit Break, they got a project called Bit Shadows and the Shadows, and so they've been releasing every 7 days. They're releasing a track that's a part of this collection. So last strong, it was my G Hancock, he's a dope artist with the Southern Empire, and then tomorrow is Menace the Pharaoh, and then next, this is all on Phantom, and then next Wednesday is my track called We Never Grow Up, Weed Gotta Roll Up, Money Gotta Fold Up, Them Cannot Control Us. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope little song, but that whole project is hitting, and I would definitely check for it. If you got some fannies, if you got a little extra Phantom to build, go check for the Southern Empire, see what they talking about, because that's one team, Scepter and Limit Break. I'm riding with them for life. They crazy. They crazy talented down in Australia.
Where are they from?
They in Australia.
Drake's done some stuff with Scepter, right? That name sounds familiar. How do you spell that?
CZEPTA.
Oh, C. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's they're the one Scepter. He's a dev. He's a coder, but his art, like, I don't know what's colder, his art or his coding.
Wow.
And to be able to speak that type of language, the dude is definitely tapped in the worlds, yo. Because when I think about coding, man, like I know about this much, and I'll get on spaces with people where they start talking about it, and I just sit there, be quiet, listening, so that I could start getting more and more, and I get a little small percentage more and more and learn something, and I go try and play with something I hear from them.
Right.
But it's a different language, and
Right.
it's good to know how to speak it or have people that know how to speak it, because computers are becoming sentient. They're becoming aware.
Right.
And if we don't put this heart in this, like the essence of, just like a parent has to bestow some wisdom to a child, if we're not here to help with that, and also the parent has to learn from the child.
Right.
So if we're not here to be speaking that language, like some of that Terminator shit and the Matrix shit they talk about could actually pop off.
iRobot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, man, Illuminati Congo, it's truly an honor, man. We're right at 45 minutes. I was trying to keep it around 30 to 45, man. But, man,
that's perfect.
I really, really appreciate you just taking the time to, just to speak with us and share some of your knowledge, share information about your projects, man. And I definitely don't want to have people on here one time. I want to make this, where I'm talking to some of you guys, on a consistent basis, once a month, once every other month, just kind of staying in tune, and you keeping us updated on what you're doing, and then also too, being able to, just learn, man. Like, we'll get on here and talk crypto, but then maybe sometimes we'll, get away from that and just go into some of these other things, like just directly talking about your books and you sharing some of that knowledge on, awareness on how to evolve with breathing, and because that's what I'm on. I'm from a small town in South Georgia, so sometimes it may sound like outer space stuff when I'm talking to some of the type of guys I'm talking to about it, but they listen in because they're like, well, Lou, we trust Lou, we're cool with him, so they buy into it. But I want to bring other teachers, whether it's about breathing, meditation, NFTs. I like for them to hear. I can talk to them about it, but I like for them to hear from you guys, man. So once again, it's truly an honor for you to get on with me, brother.
I could get them high on the breath and help with some athletic tools with the breath as well. So when the time is right, we'll build on that, brother.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Well, keep us in the loop, man. Like I said, I'll keep sharing your music, and we'll keep getting that out there. And that project that you have coming up next week, in those shows, man, let's stay in touch, because I want to share it on here, and I'm trying to keep figuring it out, because I want to be able to, start as I evolve the show. I want to be able to play music during it and after and all that. So I'll get there, but
I'm doing the same thing. I've been working on a little podcast too. It's just moving slowly but surely. You're about 10 steps ahead of me already. So
and I'll show you that. If you want, we'll talk, man. I'll show you this platform. It's a very easy setup. So
I use a different one. It works good, but you're doing good though, brother.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hey, man, for you guys out there watching, man, follow my guy Illuminati Congo, IG and Twitter, and tap in on Spotify. It's also Illuminati Congo on there,
on the YouTube as well. Got some crazy videos, talking crazy, doing some fun stuff. Yep.
Right. Tap in with it, man. You'll love it. It's a breath of fresh air, high frequency conversations, high frequency music, man. All right. Love, man. Thank y'all for watching.